I'm Dekanla Jackson, and this is Chief of Wellness. In the last video, we talked about anxiety and generally how things can be perfect in your life. They can be going really well, but you still feel anxious. Here we're going to talk about the impact of this constant or chronic anxiety on your body, because it's really important for us to understand the damage that it can do. So if we have an understanding of this, as well as the emotional impact of it, that can help us be better equipped to manage it. So let's talk about the science behind it. So the brain detects a threat, and it goes right into our amygdala, the part of the brain that kind of helps us decide whether there's a threat coming. Are we going to stand and fight? Are we going to run away? Or are we going to freeze like the proverbial rabbit in the headlights? And interestingly enough, research has been done that shows that in these modern times, there is a fourth response. And basically, it's about we try to ingratiate ourselves with others. You know, human beings, we're animals. We may like to think that we're not, but we are animals. And that's why they say that the great apes are our closest relatives from the animal kingdom. Now, if you have a puppy or you've watched those animal programs and you see when the dominant animals are around and they're kind of, flexing their muscles and everything, and you see the subservient ones or the one that's fallen out of favor trying to ingratiate itself. So it's doing the opposite. It's cowering, slinking close to the ground, trying to show that I'm small, minimizing its size. We do this ourselves, actually, if you think about it. Trying to minimize its size and presence, showing that I'm not a threat, I'm lower down in the pecking order to you. Or sometimes they will lie there and expose their tummies, which is the most vulnerable part of them. And human beings, recent studies have shown that human beings, we do the equivalent. This is where we allow ourselves to become the sidekick to the person who thinks they're a comedian, who makes us the butt of their jokes. Or we start agreeing with a bully, or we go along with things that we don't believe in just so that we can be part of the group, or don't pick on me because I'm not a threat in any way. So the adrenaline surges through our bodies, and it's also shown as well that long after the adrenaline has calmed down, it can take 12 to 18 hours for it to leave our bodies. So that means that threatful situation, whatever it looked like that caused you anxiety, can look like anything. Argument with your spouse, your partner, you stepped out into the road because you weren't paying attention, you're too busy looking at your phone, you almost went into the path of an oncoming vehicle, anything. And the adrenaline that surges through your body that makes you jump out of the way or stand your ground to fight your corner is still coursing through your veins hours afterwards. Your heart rate increases, your breathing quickens because your body's on full alert trying to decide what to do. That's fine in the moment. But when you're constantly in that state of readiness, it's mentally, physically, emotionally draining and exhausting. Think about it. Just hearing me say that, think about things that have made you anxious, or how do you feel now? You're going for promotion, for example, and you're constantly second guessing yourself because you want to make sure everything, you're in your AAA game. Consciously second guessing yourself. It becomes draining. It becomes emotional. You're tired. So let's look at some more everyday examples. You're going to bed, you've had a busy day, and you just can't settle down. Your thoughts are racing, going over everything that's happened during the day, picking over your decisions. Did I make the right decision? The fact that it took you ages to make that decision and you second guessed yourself, triple guessed yourself. But at night, when you should be winding down, you're worrying, you're worrying, you're worrying. You're constantly alert. Could be called hypervigilance. Sometimes these things stem from situations that we found ourselves in. So let's say you're walking down a dark road. You've come from the tube or subway station, and you're anxious because it's starting to get dark. And you remember maybe something happened, or sometimes actually you watched a film and it's still playing on your mind, and you're hypervigilant. So there's a certain amount. Anxiety is good. It does have its benefits because it's part of our survival mechanism. It keeps us alert. There's a difference between being alert and being hypervigilant. And hypervigilance is when the kind of survival mechanism has run amok. So there's a difference between thinking, I'm walking down a dark road and I need to be alert. I need to know who's around me, be aware of my surroundings, versus I'm so afraid that I think every little thing is a potential threat. And therefore I scare myself to the point where I can't walk down this well-lit road with lots of people going by, so providing some level of safety. So that anxiety can go from being a self-protective force for good, which we do need, to being something that makes us so fearful that we can't act. So we need to start working out how we start soothing. So recognizing our triggers, as we discussed in the previous video, and taking action. So what does that action look like? Is it breathing exercises? Is it naming that what's going on? So pausing to reflect. What is going on? Putting a name to it, or having it crystallize in your mind. So again, knowing your triggers, really, really important. This is one of the first things that we can do to help ourselves. So knowing now the impact it has on the body. This is nothing wrong with you. This is the conditioning. And if you're constantly in a state of alert, ready for the next sign of danger, back in prehistoric times, we were alert because we didn't know when the dinosaur was going to come over the horizon. So we would be constantly scanning. Talking about animals again, our animal cousins, if you ever see meerkats, they're there, they're doing this, constantly scanning. And you can literally see people doing that, sometimes overtly, and they're not aware of it, or internally. Think about yourself. Do you do that? How does anxiety show up within you? What does it feel like? What happens when you feel that? Start learning about your body and really getting to know yourself so that you can start taking action. So knowing intellectually what's going on, knowing emotionally how it impacts you, really important. Knowing how it impacts you physically. Some people say, oh my gosh, I'm starting to, I've got an upset tummy. The stomach holds stress. It is one of the places that we can know that we feel uncomfortable? Do you feel bloated? Do you feel that, oh my gosh, if I eat anything, I'm going to throw up? I'm feeling nauseous. I'm back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to the bathroom. Are those your signs? Or I'm feeling this sense of impending doom. I'm feeling emotional. Get to know your signs so that you can start helping yourself and start taking proactive action. So in the next video, I will take you through some practical exercises and things that you can do in the moment, in public, in private, to help you manage, and we'll think about a few other things as well that can be done to help. Until then, take care of yourself.